5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, in studios, exclusive interview. I'm your host Trey Ism. In case you didn't know, and we have a special guest. Let the world know your name.
Zinda Williams.
This is Zinda Williams, and Zinda Williams is a designer. And I'm gonna basically have her share some of her experiences in the business, dealing with artists and celebrities who wear some of the designers that she has come across. So, would you like to share some of your experience?
Yes, I am a designer, but right now I'm presenting myself as a stylist because I am presenting designers and not necessarily just my I'm part of the Rochester community. I used to live here for about 13 years. I was working with Garth Fagan as his wardrobe supervisor. I also danced for a short amount of time I danced. But I've been part of the fashion community in Rochester as a designer. I used to make wedding gowns. I sewed on leather, a little bit of everything, and definitely dance wear, especially because of Garth Fagan.
Exclusive. Okay. So where did you move to?
I moved back home in 1995. I moved back home to New York City.
New York City?
Yes, I stayed up here after I graduated from Rockport State.
Wow, okay. From New York City myself.
Okay.
Which borough would you go to?
Born and raised Spanish Harlem.
Spanish Harlem.
And living in the Bronx now.
Dealing with Harlem, they have a lot of fashion, a lot of history with dance and so forth. What was it like going to that community, coming from this community, and having to tap into your vision with the whole aspect of designing and styling?
Well, at the point that I left Rochester and moved back to New York, I think really my main influence in the fashion industry was with wedding gowns. I went from Garth Fagan dance down to New York and started working with Alvin Ailey. So I was still making costumes and still working in wardrobe and touring with the company. After a while, I felt the urge to be creative again. So I made a wedding gown for my former roommate, Solange Sandy. She was getting married and she was trying to find a gown. Thought she found a gown and realized that the sequins were discolored. And so she asked me to make a gown for her, and that was my opportunity to finally get back to designing and sewing, and I did. And after that, every summer I would make a gown once we came off tour. So that was my main influence as far as fashion.
What was the process like when you deal with certain people who want certain things made for them? Do you take the lead on styling, or do you look at the artist or whoever you're trying to style,
well,
create something on your own, or is it like a joint?
It can be any of those. Depending on the person. Some people have a very keen sense of what they want. They know exactly what they want, and they give you their vision, and then you bring it to life. And then there are some people who give you free reign. Just go for it. Tell me what you think would look best on me. And then there are also times when you have to collaborate with a customer. With wedding gowns, it's very particular. That's a very stressful time for the woman, so there's not a lot of women who are just going to give you free reign, unless they really, really know. I think I only had one bride who she didn't care.
Right.
Let me have my way with her gown. But
some are more particular. I mean, that's the time of your life. You go through it one time.
One time to take those pictures. So yeah, they're very particular and they're under a lot of stress. I feel like my experience in dance really helped me as far as working with brides, because in the dance world, you're stage with the dancers. It's very intense. They have to focus on just the dancer. They come off the stage, if there's a problem, you gotta keep them calm. You gotta keep them back onto the stage on time without really frazzling them. So I think I'm pretty good at keeping them calm.
Keeping the balance in the cool.
Yes, definitely. And it works for the brides also.
Well, stay tuned. We have a couple more segments, and we're gonna get back to you with some more information. If anybody wants to get in contact, please give us some information in regards to getting a hold of it.
You can look me up on Facebook at House of Zinda, or my number is 646-342-1095. Also, House of Zinda at AOL.com. Zinda Williams.
Stay tuned. Back with the Zinda Williams, stylist and designer. Tell us what your experience is when it comes to traveling with your work.
It's heavy duty. I bring a lot wherever I come because I'm trying to accommodate as many people as possible. But I find a lot of joy with what I do, so I don't mind doing it. I sometimes carry things with me, sometimes I drive, sometimes I just ship things here so I can get the most for my visit. Other people have driven things here for me. I'm just talking about to Rochester. But when I'm in New York, that's a little bit easier, of course. I drive everywhere and take my setup with me. But depending on the space that I use for my trunk sales, sometimes I bring a screen for people to change behind. I have to bring racks, lots of clothing, hangers.
You mentioned trunk sale. Tell us a little bit more about the trunk sale.
Okay. Well, the trunk sales started from, the first one that I had came about because I had been doing styling jobs and personal shopping jobs, and you find pieces that you think will work. Some will, some won't. Some places will take things back and other places will not. So you get stuck with leftovers. And my house was filling up with quite a few pieces. And after a while, I thought maybe I need to figure out a way to get this out of my house. I did my first trunk sale up here in Rochester because when I was working with Garth Fagan, besides being a wardrobe supervisor for the company, he asked me to style the women for whatever receptions they were going to have. He wanted me in charge of their look. So I did that, and after a while I started shopping for them and just picking out pieces that I thought would work for them, whether for reception or just regular wear. And they enjoyed it. And I would run down to New York and buy things, come back up to Rochester, sell in my home for the weekends. So it was kind of like a trunk sale back then, but I didn't even know that's what I was doing. But when I left the company, every time I'd come up to visit, or when they were down in New York at the Joyce Theater, and I'd come, they would ask if I had it. And they asked so many times that I figured, just bring some things up. So this past August was the first trunk sale that I did, and I brought it to Rochester.
Now explain to the people trunk sale, garage sale.
Okay, no.
Feel me? Because I don't want it to get
this is good.
some people to get it mixed up with trunk sale.
No, first of all, it's not in my trunk. I'm not selling out my trunk. A trunk sale, different designers would do trunk shows, where they would bring their new collection to a small boutique or somewhere, and they would show it to a selected group of women. And that was your first taste of what was coming for the next season. You got a chance to see it first. You could buy it. Yes. So the trunk sale is the same type of thing. I invite people, I send out flyers, I send out invitations, I invite them on Facebook, word of mouth, whatever it takes, and I invite different people to come to initially a hotel room, hotel suite.
Sweet.
Yes, a suite. First time I did it was a magnificent suite, and I set it up like a boutique. And people come and they look through and they try on and they buy, and they get a chance to shop like they're in New York. But I bring it to them, so it's a little more relaxed.
Now this is predominantly for women.
Initially it was, but now I have a large selection of men's clothing, shoes. I have a particular hat that I sell.
What's the different traffic like?
Well, you know the women are coming
Men
much more than the men are coming.
I mean, they fashion's like, you get certain kind of men that's like, you know, I'm gonna get into fashion. Here's particular. I mean, when I was a kid, I had this guy that used to come see my father. I think he was an Italian guy. His name was Shlomo, something like Shlomo, Italian guy. He used to bring Italian suits to my father's house. He used to try them on, and then when he got married again, he had some female pieces and stuff, but always was Shlomo coming out of his suitcase. He would sell my father like, you know, suits. Even back then,
Right.
I'm thinking you said trunk sale. This guy was selling out of his trunk of his car, but
Well, it's a little bit different now, but I mean, there are very many similarities because I do privates. This particular time that I came up to Rochester, yesterday I had a trunk sale. This was a different type of trunk sale. It wasn't just any and every designer. I premiered one particular designer. I showed a preview of his spring line. The designer was Byron Lars. And I did a clearance of his fall-winter line. So this was a little different. It wasn't, it was just the one designer, but yes, I didn't want to exclude my customers who had been loyal to me. So I did a lot of privates prior to the sale where I went to different women's homes, and I had my full figure collection because Byron Lars only goes up to a size 10.
Yes.
Now his size 10s, some of them can fit a size 14.
you can't leave out the full figure.
No, you can't leave out the
They're
full
gonna-
figure woman. And why should you?
That's right.
Why should you? You know, so I did some privates and I went and I packed my bag and I took it over to their home and I let them try in their home. So, I mean, I'm like slow-mo, you know, I pulled it out of my truck
Modernized.
and I did what I had to do.
Zinda Williams, we're going to get back to you with another episode. If you want some more information, please hit the contact that you will see at the bottom of the screen. And I hope you enjoy. Peace.